you wanna regain. After all, I wonder how you feel, but it's madness.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mercedes-Benz Arena live here in Shanghai. We are here for the day one of Gauntlet. I am going to be joining myself. I'm not even know where I'm going with this. Let me just hard reset. Welcome. I'm going to be joined by Raz and, of course, Soaz, who was here with us yesterday. Welcome back, gentlemen. And, of course, we just got to see a fantastic cinematic trailer for the new Star Guardian skins.
Yeah!
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty awesome. And remember, in China, for the servers, it's the actual reveal. So while everybody out there in the world has been enjoying it, this is a big reveal. When it actually came out, everybody got to see it in venue, and I heard a big pop for it. So I was already well received.
Well, very, very well received. Now, of course, we got to get to today's games, which is, of course, going to be a replay of our spring final. It's going to be JDG versus IG.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Remember, this is the introduction of the Gauntlet. So while JDG and IG go at it, they didn't have a good time during the actual playoffs themselves. JDG weren't a part of it. Invictus Gaming got kicked out incredibly quickly to LNG, but the battle is going to happen between the two of them. The winner of that goes on tomorrow to face on the third place winner of Top Esports.
And for you, so as obviously last year you have the, I don't know if it's a displeasure or not to kind of go against IG in the finals. Is this a surprise to you, see them kind of struggling to make it to Worlds in 2019?
There's ups and downs every time you perform so well for 1 year. Obviously, it's a lot harder to perform up to that standard for the next one. So it's not like a big surprise, but I guess it's kind of a surprise for most people. They will expect a little bit better, I assume. But I think as a pro player, it's hard to expect just better and better each year from top teams. Yeah,
I would agree, because a lot of the times teams that are #1, you can feel this from like Fnatic, G2, Team Liquid, who are consistently rolling. There is no off period. And a lot of the times, if you keep yourself in that mentality, you'd either have some players who would burn out incredibly quickly, or there's the inevitable drama that will happen, disagreements that happen within the team that creates that issue. And so, you're right.
It
Suddenly
needs to
for
be
Invictus Gaming, you're in that position.
It needs to be well structured, and you need to know when you need to perform, and you know when you need to take a break. So it needs to be well organized overall.
Yes.
Yeah, your season.
So, of course, we did mention it is a replay of our spring finals. JDG, the kind of surprise dark horse within spring, weren't able to really replicate that now, unfortunately, coming into 2019 summer. But
yes,
there's always a chance when it comes to JDG. You can never really count them out.
Yeah, because for me, Coach Ohm is a person that you always have to have a lot of respect in terms of that preparation time. Last split, the prep time between the regular season to the playoff run, you saw an immense amount of difference in their preparation between the best of fives. They were able to adapt very quickly. But this is what happened when they went against Invictus Gaming in the finals. It was a clean sweep, 3-0. I liked the idea that JDG had. They didn't want to contest Invictus Gaming early on in these games. They wanted to go for far more scaling compositions, teamfight comps. But problem is, when you go up against IG, at least in the spring split, you're going to have to fight them early.
I think as well, like, we talked about it a little bit, but like, with IG in particular,
yes,
they haven't really come up to scratch even, I should say, in the most recent games. And there's been a lot of, like, kind of chopping and changing, trying to find out what pieces fit. And we were talking actually before the show about how they haven't really been a full squad for the majority of summer.
And that's the biggest problem here, is because this was a great Invictus Gaming. This is a split in spring when we saw them still as the best in the world, and you had to give them their just dues. In fact, when they went to MSI, they were seen as the favorites of that tournament. And so, obviously, we all know what happened at that event, that when it came down to the semifinals, Team Liquid came up ahead. It was more so after the fact, when Baolan wasn't playing in the first few weeks. And then, obviously, we know that Rookie had his issues where he had to go home. He wasn't playing with the team for a good amount of time. But it was after Rift Rivals when the team had real time to gel, 5 people together. That's why I have a lot of faith in them, that when they finally have that time on the Rift, that things will get back into form, that they were going to be worlds ready.
Yeah, I think when you have such good performance for 1 year, it's really, your expectations are obviously really high. Everyone's individual expectations are very high for their own standard and for the team standard as well. So it needs to be well structured, and the coaching staff needs to help a lot on players' mentality and what to expect as a team and how to work together. Because obviously you're gonna have a break and you need to bounce back from having this break. You need to know that you're not gonna be as good anymore, and you need to work from there. And the part of working to get there again is the hardest.
Yes.
For sure.
And I think there are a few individuals that can really just work on their own, that really are self-driven, self-motivated, and always are at the top of their game. A lot of the times, you know, prior times when I'm a coach, I feel bad because I haven't talked to a certain person because they're just on their own doing a great job. For me, a good example of that is the top lane matchup going forward, which is going to be Zoom versus TheShy. TheShy has just been completely fine on his own. In fact, you still give him the respect with all of the issues that have been happening on Invictus Gaming, that he is the best top laner right now in the LPL, and that he is going to be carrying them to the finish line. And so that's why, you know, for this event, or at least for this series, it kind of reminds you of that finals in spring, because it really does feel like Zoom versus TheShy as your top lane match.
I was just going to say, almost a complete flip of what we had yesterday, where the top laner was just going to leave you alone. But today, this is the matchup we want to focus on.
Tell me about this one, Soaz, because looking at TheShy, you see a very distinct champion pools here.
It looks like a split pushing TheShy versus a blind pick more of a Zoom. So I assume Zoom is just gonna be mostly looking to play on his jungle more, and TheShy is just gonna look to be pressuring top lane regardless of jungle. And yeah, he's just gonna try to bring the attention to him, and Zoom is just gonna try to absorb the pressure and just try to play smart overall.
Yes, you know, that's really funny because no matter what jungler you end up seeing coming in for Invictus Gaming, jungler proximity for top lane is still going to be highest in the league. That there's going to be paying a lot of respect towards TheShy and giving him as much pressure. That's why he can still play split pushing Gnar, Jace, AD Kennen if that's going to be a possibility, or even the Nico if he wants to bring that rank back.
I would hope for, but I think Gnar is a bit better champ right now than Nico and Kennen. People over the years have been trying to play a lot of AD Kennen and never really paid off. So I think in the current meta, I'd say Gnar is a great split pusher, but can also team fight. So I would like to see a bit more Gnar eventually in a matchup like Aatrox. I'm sure he will like have the advantage in the laning phase, but can also manage to do something in team fight. So hopefully just not only like a 4-1, but he's going to be able to group and look for flanks, do things like that.
You know what's funny is that at the end of the day, we even saw it in international events for Invictus Gaming. Even if they're playing with split pushing champions, TheShy is still grouping a lot.
Yeah.
Like in instances where I look at a map and say, well, IG should just be split pushing for the win. But a lot of the times they just group up and look to outplay in scenarios. So it's much better to just pick Gnar in this case.
Yeah, I think as well, like, you know, we talked about, you mentioned as well, like TheShy has been the constant for IG. He's been the one, you know, silver lining in what has realistically been a cloud for IG's summer split. However, for JDG, there's a lot more on the line than just Worlds for them here as well, because this is, again, like we said, they got, for lack of a better term, smashed in the spring finals. They need to now come back in. This is their chance to make it to Worlds.
Yeah, and so this is when we can start talking about the rosters that are going to be showing in Game 1 for this event. Because to the point about stability for the top lane, sometimes Deke will come in, but you know for certain in the biggest of games, TheShy is going to be playing. But starting in Game 1, we're going to be seeing Leyan, the, you know, Invictus Gaming Academy jungler, start. He's been playing a few games during the regular season. He's going to be the more consistent jungler that's going to be paying a lot more attention towards top lane and mid lane, and not going to be as much of a risk taker as Ning here.
I think Rusty said it on Twitter. He's like, I take a B tier jungler consistently over a maybe A, maybe D.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way you can kind of like sum up Ning.
Especially in jungle island, I think you need to be really consistent in what you're doing.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of junglers, towards the JD side as well, Kanavi is going to be starting. The usual jungler is Flawless, but to the exact same point, consistency isn't there for Flawless. You usually either see great games, exceptional games, or just like he's not on the map whatsoever. And especially for JD, they need early game presence where all side lanes are not working well, or at least not trying to at least create an advantage in the laning phase itself. So having Kanavi, or they've been actually playing a lot more Xiao Han. creating that pressure, for me, would be something that would be beneficial. But of course, Zoom's going to be starting as well. For Spring Split, he was the second best top laner next to TheShy, so that's why this is going to be a fun matchup. We may see Morgan come in. He's their Korean import, also from the Academy roster, because for both these teams, same stories in play, trying to mix things up so they can at least find some focus in the early portions of the games.
Yeah, I think as well, like, you know, you mentioned the Morgans in the background. This is a series where we would expect to see substitutions if things start going up for both sides. Like, we could see Ning come back in over Leyan if it goes, say, 0-2 towards JDG. And also on the vice versa, we could see a swap into the jungle on the side of JDG.
And this is where I want to hear a little bit more from Soaz in this discussion because, you know, I'm a person that would want to see Ning play a lot more with this team because I think, for instance, a MVP finalist jungler, someone that you can see those high highs consistently, you just play him. I want to see someone who's been with the team for the longest period, who already has that inbuilt synergy, and have faith that he can turn it online.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have key players like that. Obviously, there's probably a reason on why they are going with this roster first. And I assume that they have strategy with both rosters coming into this series, and hopefully they will be able to showcase that.
I think as well, like, you know, it's all about coming up now, because this is last chance saloon for both these guys. You know, this is JDG kind of saying, look, summer wasn't great, but we can still make up for it here. IG, the reigning world champions, they need to try and go back to defend their title. Otherwise, I think the LoL community as a whole will just be shocked to not see them there.
Yeah, that's when I throw bias out the window and say, I just want the defending world champions to be at an international stage, because it would be a big loss to not have teams like G2 that have those constant conversations of, I want to go up against Rookie again or TheShy again and prove that last year that I've grown. For me, I want that to still be the conversation. That being said, Zoom can have that pop-up performance. It always feels like, you know, the better team on the day is always the discussion that wins out, because it's just true. Like, if a team is able to dictate game one draft and like consistently perform, and suddenly IG has to play team fighting when JDG has been the team fighting team for the LPL, that is a story that needs to be we're looking forward to.
And just over to you, Soaz, like, in terms of the pressure, you know, the kind of the idea that, you know, IG are the reigning world champions, they are the Spring Split champions. Do you think that they're going to be feeling it a bit harder now?
Yeah, for sure. In Gauntlet, there's always going to be more pressure with the expectation of going to Worlds. So I'm expecting the first game or two to be more of a testing field, let's say. And hopefully after the second game onwards, we are going to see really good games.
All right, well, we're not going to delay it any further, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to send it over to Hysterics and Clement, who are going to bring us the pick ban for game one.
As ladies and gentlemen, we are welcome back to the casting guest. My name is Hysterics, joined by Mr. Clement Chu, without a casting name, but definitely on his casting game. We go into this matchup, IG JDG, the Spring Finals remake and rematch, Clement.
And today is about who can finally show up to form, who can perform to the ideal that the teams have shown us in the previous splits. You know, since Season 5 onward, every team that has won a World Championship has gone on to show up in the preceding year. IG might break that trend.
People want to see IG defend their title. Running into our first round of Gauntlet, the Spring Finals rematch begins, and I love that the desk was talking about the top lane being the core matchup when the jungle synergy, when the jungle stability isn't there for both teams. That's who you need to step up as we go into pick ban.
Very mirrored issues on both sides here. IG do have side selection, so they are going to go back to what they're comfortable on. That would be the red side. They love to have that counter pick for TheShy and set him up as that split-pushing monster. On the other hand, you have JD Gaming, Imp, no stranger to Kai'Sa. Definitely watched the finals yesterday as well, so he's going to lock that in.
Hey, I was going through stats, and Imp has played 16 games of Kai'Sa in the regular season in summer. That is insane. Make this number 17 and make this another series much like yesterday, where the Kai'Sa priority should shine through in 9-15.
He definitely is the most prolific Kai'Sa player we have in the LPL as of right now. And for IG's side, they're actually going to go for the strong flex picks. The Akali being shown directly right here, so they're not going to try and take away some of the Kai'Sa combinations. Now, I do expect a jungle pick to maybe come up here right as now.
Okay.
Leyan we have seen him go into two different directions. One is very gank heavy earlier on, and the other is actually favoring the Karthus. Karthus is actually one of his best. He looks like he will be going for the more lane helping route.
It was against LNG. You saw the Karthus from Leyan in his game debut. For JDG, remember, Kanavi is a Lee Sin player, a Silas player, a Gragas player. Silas and Gragas being banned out means no. We take a shift in game 1 and go straight for that Kindred.
This is an interesting one because it does put extra carries on the side of JD Gaming. If I'm thinking about the problem that JD Gaming has, it's in the late game, a lot of the times they don't have that much firepower going on. So they're buffing that up a little bit. And the Karma pick is also an interesting one because this is a potential flex pick for them. Can be run in multiple lanes. Now, I wouldn't really say it's a Lumao champion, but it definitely leaves their options wide open. Now, IG going for the Ezreal here is also kind of an interesting one. I personally expected them to go for something more aggressive, like the Varus in lane, or going for something like the Draven that we've seen great performances on, also wins the matchup. But this is a very safe pick and a much more top lane heavy pick.
It's with that Tahm Kench TheShy taken away. Two favorite champions of the bottom lane duo. The safety in Ezreal's there, but now we have to talk about what it's going to be paired against, considering that we see the Kai'Sa, the Karma, as you mentioned, could potentially be down there. But right now we're focusing on solo lanes, focusing on the rare jungle picks like the Taliyah, the Renekton from IG.
Yeah, Taliyah is something that we have seen from Rookie and Leyan in the past as well. So, you know, just hitting two birds with one stone. And I think IG, what they're doing is still setting up for that solo lane dominance. They don't want Zoom to get something that he can basically be okay with himself.
And then
that's
take
the big
over,
question. Yeah. Because JD Gaming in this split, they've actually had pretty bad early games, and we've seen Zoom just focus on champions that don't require a lot of jungle attention to go through lane. I think Renekton and Mordekaisers are those champions that they can hold a pretty safe front if they can freeze the wave.
You can see JDG also getting rid of a top laner in the Vladimir. The Aatrox left for a while now, but IG picked it up here. I mean, that's probably going to be TheShy taking it into the top lane. Now, Zoom in the past has played a bit of Gnar, and this has been the go-to response to take down the Aatrox in the lane.
It's the master versus the pupil. The first time that Zoom actually played Gnar in the playoffs, he said afterwards in the interview that he learned the champion from TheShy.
Oh, really?
He took it off him in scrims. So now he's going to show... give him a bit of a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, send it right back. The Gnar locked on in, so we get a spicy matchup in the top lane. Now we need to find out what is the solo lane, what is the support position, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in, Lumao is the best roaming support in the LPL. He plays Bard, Leona, Pyke. He's insane. I
do expect Leona to be the big pick here. It's a very strong kill combination with the Sunlight procs.
I missed it.
Or
there's
the
one
Terror
champion
Party.
I didn't say. This is his niche as well.
Yeah, the Fiddlesticks Kai'Sa combination is what got them through the playoffs last time as well. And the way it works is you terrify someone after jumping out with Crowstorm, and then you can instantly follow up with Killer Instincts. So it's a very strong combination, great with the pick potential.
We have a name for it, Clement, the Terrific Instinct. That's what the bottom lane's going to be about. The Kai'Sa Fiddle versus the Ezreal and the Nautilus as the last pick for IG.
And we see IG going back to something that is true, tried and tested here. They have the power picks in the Aatrox and Akali onto the top side. They have a Jarvan that will most likely be looking for kills there, and a very stable bot lane with the Ezreal that is pretty difficult to take down. On the other hand, JD Gaming got what they wanted as well. They have a pushing bot lane that will free up both the Kai'Sa and the Fiddlesticks to wreak havoc on the map, and it's going to be just that bot lane roaming first versus that top side overflowing onto the map.
Because I like this from JDG, considering to enter the series, they've gone for a style that can play the scrappier team fights, as you labeled it, the mosh pit.
Oh yeah.
That's what JDG were about in spring, and in summer, we lost some of that core identity. But looking at Imp on your screen right there, looking at the rest of JDG, they move into a mid game that can be terrifically powerful.
Exactly. If you see a team fight breaking out on the map, you can bet that every member on JD Gaming is heading to the fight immediately. They're going to forget about minion waves. They're going to forget about turret platings. They need to be on the spot. That is their style. That's the way they like to play. And for IG, I think it's very similar as well. So whoever can set these fights up better, I think it's going to be the key difference in this series.
I'm curious to see who comes out of lane, Zoom or TheShy. There was at one point where we were talking about Zoom being the second best, as I believe Raz mentioned, and TheShy being at the top. The battle of the top laners is here, but more importantly, this is the battle for the third seed at Worlds. Will IG be able to defend their 2018 championship title, or will JDG once again be able to make that dream run that Cap predicted in spring that now in summer looks a little bit harder? There's only one way to find out as we head into Summoner's Rift for our Gauntlet round number 1. Now, you can see the crowd was filling up ever so slowly today. Of course, yesterday being the finals, you're not going to get as many people. But they made a statement right there. People are packing in. They want to see IG make that journey. They want to see them there at the World Championship to defend their title.
We see a nice, cheeky level 1 play coming in from Lumao. That dark win early on, multiple target crowd control, always great in level 1s. So they're going to force a ward down early, and that will keep their bot lane pushing safe.
Okay, Clement, I'm just taking a quick look at runes here first, though. Now, with Lumao in the past, we've seen some interesting things like Airy, Comet on the Fiddlesticks. This time around, it's the safety of getting Aftershock with the Terrify.
You definitely need that rune choice in the bot lane against the Nautilus. If Nautilus gets a hook on you and you don't have that extra defenses, you're just dead. So that's definitely an expected pickup for them. And what we should also point out is JakeyLove is respecting the matchup. He's going for the cleanse. He knows how terrifying that lane can be. Fiddlesticks is one of those supports, enchanter supports these days that can still push your lane very heavily. I'd say only him and Morgana really fill that role. So you have to respect it. You have to know that you're going to get poked down in lane and just go for something safe.
Now, I want to bring back what we're talking about in Champion Select. We have a Kindred on our screen right here from Kanavi, who is a Griffin import, or rather on loan, from the LCK team that has just qualified for Worlds. But for JDG, you were talking about the bottom lane, its impact, and how the jungler gets in. Tell me a little bit more about how JDG run this composition into the mid game we talked about.
So the most key factor for them is just making sure that they can be the first ones out of lane from the bottom side.
Okay.
You're going to see a lot more emphasis on the vertical jungling part, and also Kindred does have a pretty decent matchup against the Jarvan early on.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, the Kindred has a very low cooldown on the Dance of Arrows, and that means that a lot of times she's going to be able to dodge out of the EQ combo from Jarvan. It's extremely risky for Jarvan to try and trade with that, so he's just asserting himself with the matchup dominance and setting up vertical jungling.
That was a great bit of timing there, Clement, because as the Kindred walks into the enemy wolves, leaves only one for Leyan to return to, and picks up the blue buff. You can see the mark is also down there in the river, so this is going to be great pathing from Kanavi. And as you also mentioned, the pathing towards the bottom lane to threaten down onto JakeyLove and Baolan.
No, it's always about the strong side and the weak side in the LPL. And when you have a weak side Gnar, he's actually relatively safe. The items he has are very defensive here. He does have the fleet footwork. He still has his pot. So it's going to be hard to get that kill and just tower dive him earlier on. So I think JD Gaming are playing this in the faction exactly that they need to. They have a lot of damage and poke potential on the bot side. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Baolan to keep his inner try warded, as we're seeing right now on the map.
And we get to that point as well where Lumao is going to be leveling up the Dark Wind. Is that correct? Do we level up the Eon Fiddle these days, Clement? I know you hate the champion.
I hate the champion on everyone else but Lumao. Lumao is the sole OG of Fiddlesticks. There's been a lot of players that have been trying to get that same effect on Fiddle, but I don't think they're shot callers for the team. So they don't run it as smoothly as Lumao does. And I think, of course, you do go for the Dark Winds. You want that push potential earlier on, and that's how you free yourself to make surprise parties.
Oh, you see one there. By the way, yes, it is a surprise party skin, just to confirm. That's fantastic.
The only skin you should choose.
The only skin. There's the Union Jack skin, which, you know, nothing against it, but let's be honest, it's not the best skin. So Imp and Lumao pushing back in this wave. Bit of trade-off to JakeyLove, who has to burn his pot, but with the Klepto Ezreal, you have a lot of sustain to play with as Zoom takes the back end of a trade, and TheShy actually 10 CS up in this lane.
Yeah, I think that's going to be expected. He has the jungle support, and Zoom knows that as well. He has to play super respectful. Very low range on the Gnar earlier on. He does scale up with levels going into the matchup, so we typically will see the Aatrox get this sort of a lead.
Of course, Boomerang Blade's a big impact there. Zoom almost level 6, so we'll see what happens here. As Rookie has been farming away as well. No discrepancy in the mid lane yet.
And Rookie is actually my biggest X factor in IG's performance. Because I think he was the best player in 2018, probably in the world. His stats were absolutely insane. He won a world championship and took double MVP in the LPL. However, this split, he did miss a lot of the season, had to go back to Korea for personal business. And honestly, in the LNG series, I wasn't impressed. Funfun was the better mid laner there. He solo killed Rookie multiple times, and Rookie has been seriously underperforming. And I honestly feel like even with all the jungle issues, if they can get Rookie back to maybe 90% form, then IG will win this series.
And look, he's playing the Akali. This is one of his best champions as well. Hits level 6 right now, and this is comparable to something like his LeBlanc, something like Rookie's Kiana recently has been one of his best champions. So if it's an opening game one you're asking for from Rookie, well then hopefully we can see it on the Akali.
Rookie has been a little bit timid about going for the Akali. This is only the second time that they picked it this split. You're going to see the 3v3 probably will fizzle out here.
But remember, you have a silence on the Fiddlesticks that gets pulled back in. Kanavi now into the Shroud. Rookie, perfect execution! But the flash from Kanavi's even better as the flash comes through. It's matched nicely. The Void doesn't find its mark, but for Baolan, the dredge line to get out, I don't think he's safe here. Fiddlesticks is going to find you alongside Yagao, and JDG popped this early game wide open.
Disaster strikes for IG. I wasn't expecting that they were going to try and force their way up a ramp. They were spotted already, everyone was in position, and the crowd control duration from Fiddlesticks just breaks that chain up from Rookie. Definitely over-aggressive on IG's side.
Enables Kanavi to push up, get his second mark here in the Kindred with 2 assists now, firmly ahead in this jungle matchup. Alongside the mid laners, we get a quick look back at how this started.
So we're going to see everyone is visible on JD Gaming's side. IG know what they're walking into, but they still try and charge up into the ramp. It's a perfect break right here, and look at Rookie, how delayed his actual rotation was, because there's a Fiddlesticks there. You just cannot get your skills off against him.
He's so annoying. I mean, he auto-attacked to get first blood, so Lumao is definitely ahead in this lane. Quick bit of trading there from JakeyLove doesn't really mean too much, but we were just talking about Rookie and how he's going to perform here. Not the start you really want from your mid laner of IG.
Yeah, and that was a crucial play for IG because they were trying to take back the bottom side of the map. That was what they were trying to do, making sure that they could spot Kanavi on his rotations, know his route. But with that failed, I feel like they're going to have a hard time wrestling back bottom lane control, and there's more ways that JD Gaming can play it now. They could realistically hold the wave and make it a kill lane as well with the items that you've seen Kanavi pick up.
Yeah, that's the Caulfield's Warhammer first. Going to be walking over the control ward here. But note, Kanavi is level 6, so Lamb's Respite is now available as he clears out this ward.
Yep, he's going to be packing a lot more impact in terms of these ganks. You see Leyan, he is going to go for the more traditional route, just getting the Cinderhulk on the Jarvan, playing the front line from his team. So, you know, that does give that 1v1 potential even more into Kanavi's side.
A quick early 1k gold lead here for JDG, and it's been a while since we've seen this team as this just keeps on happening, so I'm going to continue. JDG, it has been since the regular season. We did not see them in playoffs. This has been a long time coming to actually see if they would make it into the regional gauntlet.
Yeah, JD Gaming, this split finished in 10th place. It's pretty sad that the LPL finalists for Spring Split, only one of them can go on.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down to today's matches right here. The big problem for JD Gaming is their early games have really been atrocious. They've actually had the second worst early games in the entire league. And a big play that they do to get them back is this play.
Okay.
They move, lure him out to the top side of the map, and they try to pick
And
Herald.
TheShy has walked way too deep here. The fear comes through. Lumao is empowered. He will not need the Crow Storm as TheShy goes into ult, but he's dead immediately. Kanavi picks up his first kill, and it's getting worse and worse for IG.
Yeah, that is just Luma's bread and butter play. Once he gets shoved in the bot lane, he can start roaming across the map. And as an IG member, you just can't do that alone. You have to take someone there with you. And I think that's one of, you know, IG's biggest problems this split as well. It does seem like the synergy between TheShy and his jungler just wasn't where it used to be.
Whichever jungler it may be, right? There's a reason that Ning is not starting here, and it's because of his inconsistencies. They bring Leyan in hoping for a fresh start, some consistency, even if it is, as pointed out, you know, that B-tier jungler. But at the moment, TheShy, you're right, there was no communication as he goes for the deep ward. So the Aatrox dying, giving more gold over to JDG. A big issue now is we've got core kills on core carries.
Yeah, we're seeing Kanavi really being sped up in the build, and that's going to give Yagao a lot more options on where he wants to throw down his shields, who he wants to keep safe in the team fights. This is a dangerous one for IG because you have to remember the Kai'Sa can join the fight in the blink of an eye. Once that Terrify goes down, that does give you a plasma stack and a great target for Killer's Instinct.
Yeah, and he's got his Moby Boots now as well, Clement, with Crowstorm available. So this is what we were talking about. Lumao loves to roam, and with a safer lane now for Imp, with the bottom side control that they've had, this is going to be coming through soon, and that's when Rookie has to start being careful. Even TheShy all the way up in the top lane.
Yeah, we are seeing Rookie getting pushed back in this lane, which is, I would say, pretty normal given the circumstances. Karma is just so hard to deal with earlier on, but if they do want to get rolling in this matchup, they are going to have to find the kills sooner or later, because this isn't a lane setup that they can expect to just get out naturally. It will have to come down to kills and disrupting JD Gaming's flow.
At least Rookie's been able to keep up in CS here. He's about 10 ahead of Yagao right now, and however, my contradiction to that, of course, is that Yagao is going for the full support build. Athene's first means that it's full support Karma, so it's okay to be behind in this lane, as Imp will be feeling pretty good when that clock hits about 25 minutes.
It looks like he did learn a thing or two from TheShy during those scrims, as he's mentioned. He's handling himself very, very well. And this is a great ward from IG. It's going to spot Lumao going towards the top side.
Yeah, he's pedaling to the meddling. But it will be stopped at the Rift Herald most likely, spotted out by another ward, so you're right. They know Lumao's here. Let's see how IG responds.
This is one of the fun things about JD Gaming is they actually have one of the highest Herald take rates in the entire LPL league, and they take mostly the top lane tower first, just by roaming Lumao here to the location. So this is a very familiar play for them, but Leyan is within Smite Steal range.
Oh, he's over a little bit too late. He has Cataclysm available, but not into the wall. The Cataclysm comes late, and Kanavi finds the first kill while TheShy is too far forward. What is going on? He gets pulled back, only save. Just like that.
That was a perfect setup to the play. If you notice Zoom's Rage Bar, he was holding on to his Mega Nara the entire time.
Oh, no. Okay, continue, Chloe.
Red buff doesn't prop here, so Baolan is able to get out. Even when IG spotted the rotation, they couldn't execute that very well. If you're trying to fight someone in the pit like that against the Mega Gnar, it's always going to be difficult from the start. And Baolan was actually pretty late on the rotation. It felt like IG's better play might have been to get other resources on the map.
But that Rift Herald through the mid lane this time around, Clement, that's going to be giving a lot of gold over to JDG once again.
Yep, and we're going to see Lumao actually sharing in that.
Yeah, he needs it.
It's
a Fiddlesticks. Look, he's got an amplifying tome. You know that Zonya's is coming soon.
Yes, exactly. That was the thing I wanted to say. Gold on Fiddle actually matters a lot in these team fights. When he gets the Zonya and is able to proc it every single team fight, it basically means that IG cannot play an all-in team fight.
Yep.
It means that IG, whenever you go in, you have to back out first and then look for a second engage, and it just makes it so damn hard to orchestrate.
What I love is the fact that you have so many different ultimates you have to look out for. First it's Lumao, then it's Kanavi's Lamb's Respite. But if Zoom's in Mega Gnar, and if IG want to camp inside that little Kindred ultimate, he sends you right out.
And for that exact reason, I think IG's outs in this game is to set up the 1-3-1. Walking into a teamfight against a JD Gaming that has those multiple resets just seems like a damn nightmare.
Yeah.
And right now we're seeing the bottom lane influence just overflowing to the rest of the map. All of it starts from Lumao and his Fiddlesticks. All of the turret gold plating only on JD Gaming. IG's got nothing.
800 and then some here. That's part of the gold leader. Only now IG able to push the turret, but look at what's happening on the bottom side. The Kindred's moving, Yagao's moving after getting the wave shoved as well. A lot of pressure still put onto JakeyLove and Baolan. I'm not sure if this was spotted out, but Lumao has ult available and we're yet to see it.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on this bot lane, and the bad thing for IG is none of their members can actually rotate here. Akali's been behind in the shove in lane, and Leyan's not on the right side of the map. So this is going to be turret plating at the...
Clement. I don't think that's going to be a little bit more flash for flash. Yeah, try and cleanse out of that with the fear. A little bit too late as Lumao gets his just reward again.
Yeah, I have to say, that was a play where JakeyLove should have just backed off. Instead, he pays for it with double summoners, and JD Gaming pick up everything they damn wanted here.
They are smashing IG in this first game. It's going to be tagged with the Shrew complete. Rookie at least goes in. Cataclysm used well. Perfect execution. The shield comes through. Rookie almost dies, but that's the first kill for IG. That's what you want to see is Imp teleports in on the backside onto Leyan, who is surely going to die with the plasma stacks, making a 1-for-1 trade while Baolan almost forfeits his life as well.
Yeah, pretty much JD Gaming gets the perfect return kill. They also have full run of the map as well. This is IG going in desperation mode. They realized that they were slow on the tower dive, wrong side of the map, and this is why Gnar is such a good weak side champion. A lot of times, you're going to have that Mega Gnar up underneath the tower. Look at Zoom, he's been full health this entire time.
Yeah.
He gives over no dive opportunities, and IG have to take the risky play.
Even upper level in that matchup too, so it's interesting to see JDG coming into this series so damn strong when they haven't played in so long, and this will just be Rookie really pushing for that kill.
As we said, their win condition is the 1-3-1, so you've got to get some kills onto your solo lane carries. Now, this was a good fight, diving 2 towers deep, but the kill just came too damn late. And JD Gaming actually rotate their bot lane in for the Baolan catch as well. And unfortunately for Leyan right there, he's also getting some love.
Some love, yeah, let's call it love. I was going to say from Imp as well, but it's very relevant considering Imp after that kill, he was able to pick up almost his second item. The Gwinsu's coming very, very soon, so I look across that board of JDG, and I don't see anyone who's suffering from power spikes. We've got the Black Cleaver in the top lane. We've got the Phage Hex Drinker there from the Kindred. And like I mentioned before, the Gwinsu's, as well as Lumao Zonya's almost complete.
Yep. The only saving grace for IG right now is that Rookie most likely will be able to solo out Zoom if it does come to a side lane. He's very farmed in terms of the CS department, so that will drag the game on. It's about how IG can leverage that pressure that Rookie will generate.
This is dangerous though. JDG pushing around the turret as a 5-man unit. Rookie now joins him, but look at where TheShy is. He may have TP, but it's relying on a flank or for JDG to disperse.
As long as JD Gaming have Kanavi in a siege, they should be relatively safe and be willing to push their tower chipping to the most extreme, because they do have that multiple team fight resets that they can do. Rookie, when he comes in, he's not going to be able to snipe off the target. And the more I look at it, the more I like this answer to the Akali.
Yeah.
They know what Rookie's looking for. They know he's playing for kills, so they're just going to deny the perfect execution with the Lancer Spike.
I also want to point out that the Shroud seems like the perfect radius for the Fiddlesticks ulti. The Fiddlesticks ulti feels like it fits right in the middle of it, so I'm keen to see the circles match up, Clement.
Yeah, snug and cozy right there. I don't need to know where you are, but
yeah.
I'm taking
a
care
party in the Shroud. It's Shroud's party. Wrong game. Okay, I'll stop. It's a 4K gold lead for JDG, though, at 19 minutes in the game. And like I said before, it's a great start as Imp and Lumao and Kanavi. Yagao's there as well. They're all joining TheShy. He's dead. Give more kills to Lumao as I make a reverse response. But Mega Gnar, you're right. Against the wall, Zoom! Just hulks out in front of IG.
Weak side champions. This is what you have to pick for. Mega Gnar into the Cataclysm. Even without the Cataclysm, that would have been a stun anyway, but IG's 3-man dive, they don't get the turret, they have to pay for 2 lives.
Oh, they do.
JD Gaming are coasting right now.
They are playing so damn well. Expectations were that, oh, IG always do it. IG always get back up to that level. Right now, they're getting outplayed by JDG. That's 2 turrets in the top lane, plus the kill, plus Zoom going bonkers in the bottom lane.
I think the difference right here is we didn't really see an in-game plan coming out from IG. They got the power picks and Aatrox and Akali, but then they were like, you know what, this is good enough. While on the other hand, JD Gaming thought everything well. They knew what the process was going to be. They were going to be trading weak side and strong side. Great flash from Zoom, getting in beneath the turret.
Wow.
And that was sub 100 HP.
Baolan's like, no.
He overtanks, gets 2 kills right here.
Oh my lord. That's the Kled factor, we'll call it. You know when Kled, you're like, we've got Kled, and then he remounts, gets all that extra HP. Nah can do that too. Great start here for Zoom. After what has been a very quiet game, you give him those 2 kills, you give him respect now if you're IG.
Look at the itemization as well. He knows that he's going to be facing Akali most of the time in the side lanes, so the Spirit Visage is on the books for him.
Yep.
And with those 2 kills, I don't think Rookie has that split push edge anymore.
You were saying, yeah.
JD Gaming can collapse all 3 lanes at this point, and walking into a Baron pit against Fiddlesticks is always a nightmare.
Just this team. Oh, wait, Lumel. I'll pause.
That's the communication from IG right now.
They're wondering where the Fiddle is. Now, he makes this gap easily. Baolan going to drop a ward there. Good respect shown to the Fiddlesticks. As I was saying, for JDG, this is a comp where if the Fiddlesticks is behind, it feels like he can't be doing this, but he gets interrupted. No! Flashes anyway onto TheShy. They still want to take the fight, but that's a 3-man Cataclysm locked on down. JDG in the choke will drop the Lambs respite as Leyan sits in it, heals up TheShy over the Gnar. 3 members against the wall. Imp is firing as well. He flashes back into his team, and now they turn. JakeyLove in trouble. Zoom looking at Pega Ball. He won't find it. But for JDG, they still survive. They still win the fight.
That was a nifty move from TheShy, but I have to say, the follow-up definitely goes down to JD Gaming. There was a lot of good plays early on. We saw Leyan get the triple man knockup, but when you're locked into that corridor and you've already expended all of your initiations, remember, JD Gaming forced you to back out of the team fight and come back in again. IG just did not have the abilities left anymore. Didn't have the cooldowns to do that multi-initiation.
I'm keen to see that replay because there are a lot of big ultimates there, but I think the Lamb's respite was the biggest one for me. One that set up JDG, set up the Mega Gnar, and set up this team to pick up Baron in game 1.
Yeah, this was, okay, this was completely blind by TheShy. I don't know how he got that. Pretty cool move, and at this point you think that, oh, maybe IG's gonna win it. They have all of their AoEs down in the choke, but Kanavi survives, Mega Gnar is used, it's a triple right here, and Rookie on the backside isn't able to snipe off enough targets. With that amount of HP bars, JD Gaming are still able to power through the team fight.
Because if that was an even game, you see IG there and you go, well, the sustain, that'll bring them through. They probably win that. But because JDG have just had these early leads, they've shored up the early game that we've criticized them for. They just can't deal with people like Imp. Yagao has so much shielding as well, so JDG get the Baron. They take a firm gold lead here in this first game, and things are looking good as they're looking for more.
Against the Fiddlesticks, you always have to clear out on both sides of your towers. If he's jumping in through these walls, there's nothing much you can do. As soon as you split up, he's going to be coming across that with a surprise party for you. So I really want to see what IG can do here. They really need to drop more wards over these terrain.
But for JDG, they've been one of the best warding teams, so it makes sense that there's been a lot of priority on control wards and clearing out the vision of IG. They've lost all of their red side, and blue side only a couple of wards to spare. So for IG, getting pushed here is natural, as the inner turret should be going down, but the Crow Storm comes in first. They want to take the fight instead. Leyan is just shocked and dead. Kanavi will be following up onto TheShy, but that's World Ender now in a 5 versus 4.
Yeah, and Leyan could not get anything off. Not even the Cataclysm was used right there to try and section it off. The CC duration is just so damn long from the Terrify, and you can see Imp followed up directly after that. That's a combo that we're looking for. Very powerful, and it forces you to group up to fight the siege.
This is so hard. You've got double marksman hitting into the turret plus the Gnar. Inhibitor now exposed, and JDG with 10k gold ahead. Their poke is exceptional. Baolan almost too far forward as Kanavi just turns around. Rookie can't get through the Karma shield, and JDG know it.
It's a 10,000 gold lead already for JD Gaming, and they're looking to close this one out. They have the poke advantage, they have the gold advantage. Gnar can throw a bit of boomerangs there, so can the Karma. It's going to be super hard for RG to defend.
Imp teleported in with an infinity edge. Woo. That's a 3-item Kaiser as Kanavi turns onto TheShy. This Aatrox has no World Ender, and he's gone as well. Baolan for the re-engagement. Lands the Spiders Gnar into the wall. They send Leyan out of it. They take him down, and JDG are doing it in game 1. Here comes the Crow Storm again. Do you think he cares? Lumel's empowered, the Fiddlesticks feels good, and he doesn't even die.
Doesn't need to pay for it. JD Gaming are going to get revenge for that Spring Split Finals. They're going to take this one 1-0.
They look powerful here in game one. They've had a break from the summer regular season, and they come into Gauntlet just like that.
The level of planning was just on a different level coming in from JD Gaming. They read what IG wanted to do like a book. They had perfect setups to nullify whatever Rookie wanted to do on that Akali with the Lambs respite. They had a pushing bot lane that was going to utilize their greatest strength. That shot calling coming in from Luma, roaming across the map. He got the Herald. He got 2 early game skirmishes against IG on the Fiddlesticks to keep everything rolling.
An empowered Luma looks so damn good. And this is the, I think it was, I can't remember who said it in spring, but I remember the conversation about Luma being a top 3 support, because he's just so unique and his identity hovers around champions like Fiddle.
Damn, in my book, Luma has already surpassed Mako in terms of relevance on the support
There you
role.
go.
I actually really think this guy, in terms of shot calling, in terms of initiating, has been bringing it, especially in the playoffs. The last playoff run was very similar, where we saw him bring out, you know, the Fiddlesticks, obviously, the Leona, all those kind of off-meta picks to just decimate the enemy team. I think what IG needs to adapt to is they need to keep Luma in lane. I would much rather see IG do what they did against LNG and pick up a Varus Tahm Kench and just shove that lane in.
Absolutely. You know, the Varus Tahm Kench, the Varus with an adaptation of support, was dominating the lane. JakeyLove and Baolan were more the staple in IG when everything was going wrong. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I have to say, after game one, concerns for IG and whether we're just going back to round one of playoffs again.
Yeah, IG, for me, their game plan looks a bit too basic. I think their attempts to wrestle away the vertical jungling with an inexperienced jungler like Leyan fell flat on its face very early on. So even with Rookie having the lead, they didn't really orchestrate anything with it. Baolan was slow on the rotations as well, and it felt like all of the major tempo points fell to JD Gaming. JD Gaming had a lockdown on how this game was going from minute 1.
Clement, concerns aside, I have to say I haven't seen JDG play like this since their run in spring.
This is pretty funny because I think a lot of viewers are going to hype up JD Gaming as like a top team, but honestly, their playoff performance is always 2 levels above what they do in regular split. And I think a lot of it does come down to Coach Home. Coach Home is a master at setting up good game plans and finding the correct matchup against the opponent team. And this is another one of his master classes. Strong weak side, bot side, great focus on what he wants to play through the bottom lane and Lumal. And IG kind of just rolled over.
Yep, Imp gets his 17th time played champion in the Kai'Sa. Lumal's Fiddle, comfort all around. Yagao on something safe so that we can see the best of Yagao. Kanavi came in, did the most damage in that first game over Imp. So that's my surprise to me that Kanavi looks so damn stable when there were concerns over this jungler.
Yeah, Kanavi has kind of been the fill-in for Flawless when Flawless kind of underperforms. Then you see Kanavi jumping in, but it does seem like he has finally taken the main stage, the main role right here. And the Kindred pick, I think, was so smart. We haven't really seen this from him yet, but I think it made a lot of sense in this scenario where he's trying to equalize out on the Assassins. He's trying to play that 1v1 game against Leyan as well. So if the jungle advantage does go over to JD Gaming, then we could also see that swing multiple matchups on the in the lanes.
I'm curious what happens in the break. What happens in game 2? Does Ning come in? Do we see Duke? What changes do we see? There's a lot on our mind, but we're going to throw to a quick break, then return with Analyst Death for game 2.